So I've just got off the phone to Evo. He's given me a buzz. He's just come back from seeing Luke over in South Australia welding up the cage, and the car's back in the workshop. So we're going to go check it out, have a look at it, introduce you guys to Jacko, and he'll be doing the rest of the build, and then we'll get the car down to race coatings, get that cage powder coated. KINCROME have built the ultimate Polaris RZR, and one lucky person is going to get the chance to win this thing, or win 50 grand cash. It's free to enter, but if you want to increase your chances, purchase any KINCROME product, jump across to the website and check out the details.
Hey, so I'm Jacko from KINCROME Racing, and I'm usually racing, but I do build the cars, and Tank and Marshall have wrote me in to build this off-road recreational animal. So we're gonna get ready to prep it for powder coat. So strip it all down, roll cage off, arms off. Dan's gonna be here helping me, and we're just gonna get it all ready to go. Take it down to race coatings and hopefully get a nice fresh color. Stay tuned. The teardown will involve tearing out the front control arms, the rear sub-assembly for the fuel cell, the roll cage, removing the roof rack, the rear control arms, radius rods, and basically anything that doesn't have paint on it because it's been fabricated or installed non-aftermarket. Yeah, roll cages and stuff aren't necessarily that hard to remove as long as you've got sort of a forklift or a buddy. Being able to reinstall it once you pull it apart, so pulling it apart correctly is going to be really important. All right, today's a really exciting day. We're going to be taking all the control arms, roll cage, all the stuff that required powder coating down to Ryan at Race Coatings, and they're going to turn it into a beautiful KINCROME blue.
Hi, I'm Ryan Parsons, and this is my business, Race Coatings, and we're here in Warragul. So the business started in 2017. We specialise in high temperature ceramics. The way I got into it was a bit of a hobby. I was into cars, so what we basically did is got involved into the high temperature side of things, and we evolved basically into powder coating and other corrosion coatings as well. I met Simon about 3 or 4 years ago. We were powder coating some of his chassis. So from that point, we built a relationship together, and yeah, it's been great. He's a good guy. I think our personal touch with our customers, that's probably what sets us apart from a lot of businesses. Keeping it simple and educating them through the process, we're willing to go that step further and make sure that they've got trust and faith that we're going to do the best job possible for them. Well, process is critical here at Race Coatings. So when a job does come in, it goes into our booth where we degrease that product. So getting all the contamination, oil, grit out of that product. And then from there, we go through our blasting process, which is probably by far the most critical part, making sure that pressures are correct, what grit you're using. And then from there, we air the product down, it gets coated in our booths behind us, and then into the furnace for a curing process. Once that curing process is finished, we pull that out of the furnace, and then from there it will air dry until it's hard, ready to rock. So pretty much once it's coming out of the furnace, it's done from that process. With our high temperature ceramic, it's a little bit different to the powder coating. It's a wet spray application, so very similar process on the way it gets degreased and blasted. The way that it's painted is almost like 2-pack paint, and then it goes through a second phase, which is our polishing process. So we have our vibratory polishers. They tumble ceramic media balls. There's about 700 kilos of media in those machines that polish and burnish the aluminium oxide paint that's painted onto the header or whatever the product is, whether it's aluminium, stainless steel, mild steel, titanium. What that'll actually do is polish the actual surface and makes it shiny. I think a lot of people understand a little bit about powder coating, but probably not the technical side with the blasting and how we blast. Basically the powder itself, it is in a powder form and it vibrates through the powder coating machine, and it has an electronic charge that pulls that powder and then electronically charges it onto the substrate. So the electrodes attract to that metal, and then the powder flows onto that and basically sucks to that product. The powder itself goes on completely dry. The only time it melts is when the temperature is in the furnace.
Ryan, how you going? Yeah, sweet as. All right, I'll dive in the truck and head on down. Super stoked with Race Coatings. Picked up all the powder coated arms, they look unreal. They've done such a good job. They were so easy to deal with. The colour's spot on. And yeah, we'll take it back to the shop, refit all the bushes, get it all ready to reinstall on the car, and I'm excited to see the finished product. It's going to be unreal. All right, so big day ahead. So we're reinstalling all of the powder coated parts, putting the front control arms and everything back in. It's not too bad, you just want to make sure you've got all your bushes and everything. The rear end obviously has a lot of spaces, so there's a little bit of fiddling parts to get that all back together. It's gonna be a little bit tricky, sometimes a little bit of soft hammering. Yeah, hopefully we can get it all done, but it's gonna be a big day. All right, all the powder coated parts are installed. They look unreal. Can't wait for you guys to see it.
If you want to see how this moss has turned out, tune into the next episode where we go shake it down.
Don't forget, for your chance to win the Ultimate Polaris, all you got to do is register online before August 24th. And for every $10 you spend on KINCROME tools at authorised retailers, you can get an extra entry as well. Jump online for all the T's and C's.